All right, guys, back at it again. Basically, I started already a little bit more, taking apart everything. I already took out the spark plugs. I'm not spark plug, the ignition wires and coils, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, dude, that's bad. So yeah, I put everything over there. So I put everything over here, and I marked it with numbers on which goes where, because if you don't have it right, it will misfire. It will not function properly. So make sure that you do keep note of, you know, which is which. Got my light going. But yeah, guys, so I'm gonna keep hitting this. I'm gonna see if I have any brake cleaner or degreaser, but dude, like, that's bad in there. I don't know if I can get all that off. So a little change of plans, we're also doing spark plugs. So just to show you how bad they actually are, these are all 6 spark plugs. They were literally dripping with oil when I pulled out 3, 4, and 5. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Alright, quick progress update. I got the left valve cover off. That's what it looks like. Honestly, not that bad for 240,000 miles. Have all the spark plug holes blocked up. Yeah, man, honestly, in here, not that bad for 240,000. Honestly, I was expecting a lot worse. But I'm gonna pressure wash these first. So, and I'm gonna pressure wash these before I put them back in. That's one side. I'm gonna do the next side. Yeah, honestly, it was a pain to get off. It was actually pretty, you know, matted on there pretty good. All right, y'all. Last update for tonight. Both cam covers are off, or valve covers. They're all off. Yeah, it's late. I'm hot, I'm cold. That's gonna be it for tonight. No, it just hit me though, how funny this is. This literally started off as a, what was it? It was a radiator, tensioner pulley, alternator pulley job. That was it. And now it turned into this monstrosity here. That's just, you know, it's car life, man. Alright, so picking up where we left off, spark plugs are in, spark plug coil packs are in. We're gonna do the valve cover gaskets now because they're sitting over there. I just had to let them dry, so I'm gonna put those in real quick, and that honestly might be it for today, so I can get some stuff done tomorrow. Alright, so we got a LED kit for the interior lights. I know there's some of these that go behind the dash. There should be one of them that goes for the keyring light, and there's a couple more. Honestly, I want to say that the rest might go in the middle. But basically, you have to take off this shroud right here, which is 2 screws on top, and then there's going to be 1 screw underneath right here. My finger is literally only 3 screws, and then you pop it out. And once you pop it out, it kind of, you know, just, it's really held in by pressure at that point. So you pop the front, you pop the bottom, and then it's already loose. The next thing you just have to do is pop out the back corner over here. But this one, there's that dial. You have to make sure you unplug that one. Right, there we go. So that's, you know, again, it's all pressure. It's a little scary, but you gotta make sure you unplug this one right here, and then we can go from there. All right, so once you unplug that, again, it's just that little module there for the dimmer. So basically, once you unplug that, it'll be that little green, or not green, but this little plug right here. The clip is on the bottom to push up, so it's a little awkward angle, but push up, pull out, it comes right out. But you put it to the side. Now they have the shroud out. We're gonna have to hit that screw on top, and that one, and then that one over there, to get the actual cluster out, so that we can get to the back of it, to get the LED out. Also too, I believe you have to take the screw off right here to get the actual ignition out, to get access to the bulb in there, but I'll do that last or second. I'm gonna do the cluster first because I know exactly how to do this one already. All right, I got carried away and wanted to do it. Basically, if you look, there's Actually, open the door so I can get some light in there. So there's two cables, right? This cable that my finger's touching right now, that one's gonna be for the actual bulb. This one's gonna be for power. Depending on how yours is set up, you might have to, you know, scoot it off a little bit to get a little extra room, but essentially just get to this point, right? And don't break any of the wires, but just kind of shimmy it, get it, you know, away from the actual, you know, key ignition. But you know, get it like this. Then you can unplug this small white one, and now you just have the light wire holding it in. So then you actually twist, boom, comes right out. So now you actually have the entire housing free. And basically, if I close this door, fix the steering wheel real quick. So basically all of this right here is what you would need. Give it a second. It's gonna turn off right now. If it wants to turn off. There we go. But it's literally an old LED light with a rubber like condom on it to give it that yellow color. So a trick that you could have done back in the day is literally take this cover off, because it's a rubber cover. Take it off, and you would have had basically a light yellow, almost white LED. But yeah, so basically this just goes right in and out. That's about it. Then you have this hanging here, and that's, you know, the plug for it. So let me see if I can get the correct one for that. Okay, well actually I'm gonna hold off, but these little circle ones, I know those go behind the dash. There's a couple of these that are like, they look like the same size as the one we just pulled off of the ignition, and there's 3 of those. So these big ones also, these big ones look like they might go behind the actual dash here in the center console. So I'm gonna hold off for right now, but we're gonna go ahead and take out the cluster, because the cluster is actually already loose. All right, so it's literally is gonna be one screw there, that one, and then the one over there for the ignition. But this again is held in by just pressure at this point, so that slides out. Also, you gotta make sure you tilt the steering wheel down, and then this should all come forward with some wiring behind it. As you can tell, yep, you got one on the other side over here, one big one right here. So yeah, just go ahead and unplug all these. I'm gonna cut it real quick. Right, so you literally only have 2 connections. There's literally no way to mess this up because they're both different sizes. But now I'm gonna go ahead and look at which ones I need to be swapping out, because there's a lot of lights in here. All right, so messing with it for a little bit, I was that one, that one, that one, that small blue one, and then the small blue one that goes here. So what those look like, oh, dropped it, here we go. So these are the big black ones, right? So that's the one that goes like right there in the bottom one. Then we have 2 blue ones like this. Same thing, just pop them out, and now you just gotta swap the proper LEDs into each one and put it back in. Awesome. So now that you have all those bulbs in, you basically just do the opposite of what we did the first time. Putting this back in, but first I am gonna pop in that extra bulb I have for this one to make it white as well. If you tried, plus mine's already plugged in, but if you try to plug it in and try to test it with your lights, like for example if you do it right now, it won't work. Okay, well also too, let me see, yeah, so right now lights are on, headlights are on, nothing's coming up. You need to have it plugged into that shroud with that dim control. Once you do that, then you can test it, make sure it works. So I did do that, mine does work, but yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that ignition switch first and then go from there. All right, I think that's probably the best I'm gonna be able to get it. They're the white LEDs, dimmer works. I fixed the fuel one because the fuel one was low, so I fixed that one. I know the 140 to 160 is dim. I already flipped that bulb twice, so I think it's just the bulb that's bad. Other than that, everything works fine though, so even on the ignition. So I were to throw my key in here, Yep, everything turns on fine. So, all I have left are gonna be these. All of these are gonna go behind here. I think it's for the clock, for the temperature controls, and for the radio. I think this one's actually maybe like a bulb in here. Then also the dome light, that one we're gonna swap out eventually later too. But I'm gonna have to cut it right here because I gotta go. But yeah, man, this is how the interior is looking so far. All right, so one valve cover in. I didn't mention though, you gotta make sure you put a little bit of a ultra black gasket maker on the front corners of both cams, or both valve covers. Just a corner, just literally a pea size, and bolt everything in. Alright, we're almost there. We're getting there. Intake plenum is on, throttle body's on, intake's on, all the coil packs and spark plugs are in, valve cover or cam gear cover is in, front cover is in. Only thing left is going to be radiator and putting the belt on. But as of right now, for tonight, that's going to be it. I'll pick it. Alright, I'm back at it. We're going to put the belt in. It should always show under the hood how to put it on. But yeah, this is what we're looking at right now. Almost done. We got this radiator, filling it up and turning it on, hoping it starts. Alright, so belt is in. So basically it's gonna be around there, going down, around that one, coming over, under, over that one, around that one, coming all the way down, under that one, up and over that one, and back. And then, yeah, other than that, that's it. So, super simple, super easy, not too bad. Alright, just like that, radiator is in. We got the upper hose, lower hose in, both trans lines, both plugs for the fan shroud, coolant temp sensor, air intake, scoop, and this ECU vent. So I already started topping it off. I'm going to turn the car on, let it run, and well, that fell. And then I just spilled a little bit too. Turn the car on, let it run for a little bit, just to burp it to get the coolant through the system, and then go from there. Alright, moment of truth. Oh, drop the key. Moment of truth, here goes nothing. Alright, well, it turns on. Alright, well, she runs. It was giving that code just because I didn't unplug the battery. I never do. Clear these codes, and honestly, runs fine. Alright, dope. So the fans just kicked in. So that tells me that everything works, fan shroud works. I'm gonna keep the car on as I do the interior now. Just because I want to see if that temp needle moves at all. But it should stay in the middle the entire time. So first things first, on this one right here, you're gonna have this base plate. This base plate with two hooks in, so it's gonna actually go boom and then boom. Just pry it up, and then pull out. And then you'll have two screws, I believe, or yeah, two Phillips here and here, so on both corners. Just to show you with some light, it's gonna be that one and that one, two Phillips. Just take them out and screw them. All right, so this one is gonna be the scary part. Just because you do have to put some pressure, but you literally grab it and you just pull out towards you. So I can do it. Is there more screws? No. Yeah, this is the scary part. Yeah, I can feel this getting loose now. Alright, let me see. Alright, so as you can see, I separated it already. So again, it is a little tough, a little scary. You kind of have to pull out towards you, but up at the same time, and then it pops out like that. And then you should be able to just lift up and pull out like that. So that's a little scary, but it is doable. Alright, so once you pop it off, you have access to that front AC airway now. Also, you have two 10 mils. You gotta take those off to get the radio out. Damn, I can't even see anything now. Let's see if I can put that light up. There we go. Alright, so next we're gonna pop out the lower tray right here. It is a little scary. You have to get a pry tool between and literally pull down on both. And then this pops down. If you have heated seats, you're gonna have extra connectors. Just unplug whatever connectors you have here, and then you get access to the bottom screws right there and over there in the same other corner to actually get everything out. Alright, cool. So now that those two bolts are out of there, as you can tell, that silver area is open. It literally is super loose. So now you just lift and pull out, and then just unplug all the cables behind here. Alright, so next is going to be two screws, this one and this one, same thing on the other side, so that way you can get the actual top portion off of the actual radio. Alright, so when you got it out, now you're looking at something like this. You have two small screws on that side, two small screws on that side. Take them out so we can take this back plate off to get access to the motherboard where the lights are. Alright, so now we got it out. As you can tell, we have a plastic tab right there and a plastic tab right there. Same thing on the opposite side. Plastic tab and plastic tab. Literally just push those up a little bit, not too crazy, just so we can slide this back part out of the front plate. Alright, so when you open it slowly because there is a ribbon there. You don't want to break that. As you can tell, you just slightly pull up on it, very, you know, shimmy like, and then it comes out. So you have this completely loose from the ribbon on the actual, I can't even see it, dude. It's so dark in here. The ribbon itself. Alright, almost done. So basically everything like these right here that are white are gonna be bulbs. The only thing will be those two in the top left. Other than that, everything else that's in white would be a bulb. Alright, so when you're actually done putting the bulbs in, you can actually just plug the two cables in just to see if they work. As you can tell, it works really, it's actually really sharp. I'm surprised. Alright, and just like that, the same way that everything came out, the same way everything goes back in. But as you can tell, I'm missing the top part. It's right there. But the reason why the top part is not in is because we're actually putting this one in. So this one's a little bit different, right? Basically what this one does, it mimics the original OEM navigation top portion. So that should actually sit a little flush. Oh. So weird doing one hand. Yep, foot's flush. Boom. Vents work. Boom. On. Yeah, all that good stuff. And all said and done, it'll actually look just like that. And funny enough, we have the screen. Alright, so with the screen in, all said and done, that's what it's gonna look like. That looks pretty freaking badass. But yeah guys, that's gonna be it. As right now everything is already plugged in, so I'll show you guys what it looks like when it turns on. So we flick the lights on. So everything on there turns on. Top turns on. The bottom ones don't turn on. And then if I put the key in, if I can find the key in, turn over. No, that's on. Light. All everything's on over there. And then once that turns on, that'll be on too. Yeah, so that's how we're looking right now, guys. Also, dome light is in, but the map light up here gotta get swapped out. Alright guys, that is everything. Engine is done. Valve cover gaskets are both in. Spark plugs, coil packs are in. Coil pack connectors are in. Intake plenum is on. Throttle body's on. Everything is connected on that. Intake is in. Everything is connected on that. Air intake scoop, valve cover, gear cam cover, radiator is full, fans kick on. I was just cleaning all the mess and trash. But yeah guys, other than that, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Deuces.